The News Hour Special Edition.
Hello and a very warm welcome. You're watching the News Hour Special Edition. It has been 5 to 6 days since minorities have been facing consistent persecution in Bangladesh. Houses and businesses have been targeted and torched, places of worship vandalized. Several people have been lynched only because they belong to a particular community and religion, and yet their version has been widely disregarded and dismissed. The minorities are now forced to take to the streets, take matters in their own hands, not just in Dhaka, but across the world. Perhaps because they know that there are forces who would want to downplay their pain, even whitewash if possible, and therefore they have to make themselves heard. After lakhs of Hindus came out across Bangladesh to protest against the ongoing attacks, the community also came together in various parts of the world in solidarity. From US to Canada to the United Kingdom, there is only one plea: Hindu lives matter, save them.
For last couple of 5-6 days, people are torturing, burning our houses. Hindus, Christians, minorities' houses are burned. Our brothers have been killed. Our mothers have been killed. They are looting our houses. They are burning our houses, our churches, our temples. We want justice for Bangladesh.
I'm here today in front of White House to ask our elected officials, Foreign Relations Committee, to ask the interim government President Dr. Yunus to immediately stop or bring justice to all the minorities. We need protection. We need immediate protection. We need safety for all the religious minorities, not only Hindus. Hindus are targeted, driven out of their homes.
The community has been here in unprecedented number. That is a good sign. What is disappointing is the involvement of Canadian politics. They are disproportionately not listening to us after emails, after calling them out, after tweeting them from every platform, reaching them out. Unfortunately, it all lands on the deaf ears.
Now, two prominent Indian-American lawmakers have also sought the US's intervention in the violence against minorities, including Hindus. But even now, our politicians, the Indian politicians, are hesitant in acknowledging that this is even happening. 6 days after the political churn in Bangladesh, Congress today finally came around to showing concern for minorities officially, but many of its allies are still tongue-tied. And speaking in Ayodhya, Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath pulled no punches in explaining what he thinks could be the reason behind this silence. He said that 90% of Hindus left in Bangladesh are Dalits, but the opposition in India is tight-lipped about their plight because of vote bank politics.
जिन लोगों के मन में ये कोई भाव नहीं कि दुनिया के किसी कोने में कोई हिंदू प्रताड़ित हो रहा है तो उसके प्रति आवाज उठा सके, क्योंकि उसमें भी उन्हें लगता है कि अगर हम आवाज उठाएंगे तो कहीं यहाँ उनका वोट बैंक न खिसक जाए। याद रखना, जो बांग्लादेश में हो रहा है, जो चर्चाएं हो रही थी अभी, वहां 90% जो हिंदू बचा है वह दलित समुदाय से है। ये जो सबके मुंह सिले हुए हैं, इसलिए सिले हुए हैं क्योंकि इनके मालूम है कि बांग्लादेश को हिंदू उनका वोटर नहीं होगा।
I request our Prime Minister also, he has written a letter to the government of Bangladesh to protect minorities of Bangladesh. I welcome this letter. But at the same time, I request our Prime Minister to look after what happening in our country. You are taking care of minorities of Bangladesh. Unfortunately, you are not taking care of your own minorities.
Despite so much first-hand evidence of what is happening, what really is it that makes certain political parties in India refrain or be cautious about unequivocally defending the rights of Hindus who are a part of several other minority groups in Bangladesh who are being persecuted by their name? To answer that question, we are now joined by Tuhin Sinha, who is the BJP national spokesperson, Abhijit Iyer Mitra, senior fellow IPCS, Kamruzaman Chaudhary, political analyst, Professor Manojit Mandal, political analyst, is also with us, and Tariq Ahmed Lari, Samajwadi Party supporter, is also with us on the broadcast. But before I open this up for discussion, I would like to take our viewers through what Congress has been saying on this matter since the political churn and crisis broke out in Bangladesh. The first day when Muhammad Yunus was sworn in, the day after Sheikh Hasina Wajid had resigned, rather her resignation was announced by the army, Rahul Gandhi had put out a post tweeting congratulatory messages to the newly elected caretaker Prime Minister, and he had said that we want swift restoration of peace and normalcy, which is the need of the hour. Then 2 days later, on the 10th of August, came a statement from Jairam Ramesh. It was a part of a long statement, but the crux being, we are concerned at reports of targeted attacks on minorities. Now, finally, on the 11th of August, which is today, Rashid Alvi, you just heard him speaking, he said PM is taking care of minorities in Bangladesh, not India. So, from absolutely forgetting about what the minorities, including Hindus, are going through, Rahul Gandhi on day one, to now Rashid Alvi saying that it's fine, you want to talk about minorities in Bangladesh, but first you should worry about minorities in India. There is not a single mention of the word Hindu in any of those statements that have been put out by the Congress party. Kamruzaman Chaudhary, help us understand. Why this allergy? Is it really what Yogi Adityanath says, is it? Vote bank compulsion?
Yeah, thank you for taking out a very hilarious comments about what's happening in Bangladesh to what's it's happening in India and linking somehow
hilarious
with the Congress party and its leadership.
Hilarious.
It's really hilarious.
Which part,
it's
sir?
Really hilarious. Because the yes, of course. Let me explain it. Let me explain it. For the last 2-3 days, there have been incidents. Come on. Let me. Can you please correct the echo, please?
Yes, we'll fix that, sir. Let Mr. Kamruzaman Chaudhary make his point, and then we'll get rebuttals in, please. Yes, sir. Go on. What's so funny?
Yeah, the basic point out here is that those people who found no words to condemn the atrocities in Manipur, a civil war is going on for the last 1 year plus. Even last 2 days, Bengali Muslims have been attacked in Delhi and in Orissa and other parts of the country just by citing the atrocities that are being committed in Bangladesh. Now, when there was a debate going on the Citizenship Amendment Act being introduced in India, I categorically, on your channel only, I said, listen, 1.5 crore Bangladeshi Hindus are there. And by bringing in the CAA, you are giving an open invitation to the 1.5 crore Bangladeshis that you are welcome to India. Why not go in the other way around, engage the Bangladeshi government in securing the safety of the Bangladeshis out there? When Hindus are attacked in Leicester,
I'm sorry, sir. I'm not understanding the tangent that you are going on.
In Australia.
Okay, let me break this down. Do you think it was right on the part of the center, according to you, not saying anything about what is happening in Manipur? Was it right or was it wrong?
The basic point that I'm trying to drive out here is that what's happening in Bangladesh is, of course, very unjustified, and everybody is in solidarity with the Hindus of Bangladesh.
But why can't we say it then? Why does it take 6 days for the Congress party, 5 to 6 days for the Congress party to even think about minorities? This after already you've attacked the Prime Minister for mentioning Hindus when you haven't. Simple question.
No, basically, this is the unverified video reports that have been coming in from Bangladesh about atrocities.
Sir, what unverified video reports? Okay, so
in Bangladesh.
Okay, fine. So if they are
ample proof, we have got ample proof that Awami League leaders who happen to be incidentally Hindus in Bangladesh have been attacked. There are Muslim leaders, there are Muslims also who have been attacked in Bangladesh, but gaslighting Indians with the incidents in Bangladesh, there the problem lies.
Okay.
Because
Tuhin
Bengalis
Sinha?
are not that stupid to take the narrative that the Hindus are being attacked in Bangladesh alone. Because it's a political war, a vacuum has been created.
Nobody is saying that it's only the Hindus that are being attacked, sir. Nobody is saying that it's only the Hindus that are being attacked, but nobody, it can be nobody's point that Hindus are not being attacked. And that all these instances, all these people coming out of the streets because they have been disregarded and dismissed is just gaslighting.
Please.
You know,
basically,
can I come in,
madam,
Priya?
you are trying to twist the entire narrative out here.
Okay. Tuhin Sinha, it's a narrative that you are trying to put out. Congress is just stating facts as they are.
You know, good evening, Priya. Good evening, everybody. You know, the hypocrisy, the dubious hypocrisy of this Congress party is despicable and shameful, to say the least. But I can't, believe what Mr. Chaudhary has just said. First, he finds the entire issue hilarious, the killing of Hindus. Then he is dismissing the whole issue as gaslighting, perhaps, only confirming that Congress only follows Al Jazeera and doesn't follow any other news channel. Is this Congress for real? These are the same people whose hearts bleed endlessly for children of Gaza, but who remain conspicuous by their silence when it comes to persecution and killing of Hindus in Bangladesh. But it doesn't end with that. On Thursday, 8th August, Rahul Gandhi was locked in a meeting with Jean Dress, the shady economist who participated in a pro-Palestine rally the next day, where Nadeem Khan, an important member of All India Jamaat-e Hind, Jamaat-e Islami Hind was also present, someone who has openly advocated for civil war in Bangladesh. Now, the point is, at a time when Rahul Gandhi could easily call his friend Muhammad Yunus and requested for safety of Hindus, was he busy tutoring people on how to, further activate pro-Palestine protests in India? That is where the hypocrisy of this Congress party stands exposed. And if that is true, then this Congress party is in some form an enabler of the persecution of Hindus that is happening in Bangladesh. It can't shy away from that.
Abhijit Iyer Mitra, for our viewers, just put it in perspective what Tuhin Sinha is talking about. These are the claims that have been made by a very prominent Bangladeshi personality that Rahul Gandhi was in a meeting with somebody who's related to anti-India activities is the allegation.
Rahul Gandhi met this person in Washington or wherever it was. But what we do have on record is Rahul Gandhi somewhere in the UK calling for regime change in India, a la what happened in Bangladesh just now. The kind of regime change he was calling for was either Serbia, Bosnia, Libya style, or it was Bangladesh style. That bit is very, very clear. So today, he obviously can't go around condemning something that happens that he calls for somewhere else to happen. The problem is he can't even open his mouth because Sheikh Hasina is an old family friend of his. So he can't even say, we come out and support Sheikh Hasina or anything like that. But let us be clear about this. All the factions that have led up to what happened in Bangladesh are in some way or the other linked to the Congress Party validation network, either academically or in terms of NGOs or in terms of international press and things like that. There is no separating that. Now, whether he met Tariq Zaman or not, Tariqur Rahman or not, is a different matter. But the point is, at least in public, we have enough to know that this is a person who wants the same thing to happen in India. And the fact is, he simply will not. He opens his mouth for every little Tom, Dick and Harry from God knows where to where who gets arrested. But when Hindus are being killed in India, not one word. And of course, I don't take all these Altu Faltu junior wannabe Congress types seriously because they're too down the party ladder to. The Congress doesn't
Abhijit
care.
Iyer Mitra, let's not make any personal comments. Everybody has their opinion and they are here in their own right. They have
I'm sorry, but being hilarious, considering the murder of Hindus hilarious, you start losing credibility. You become a sad, pathetic joke.
Mr. Kamruzaman Chaudhary, is it also about losing credibility that finally made Congress realize that they have to change their stand of being silent on the atrocities that the minorities are facing? And 5 days later, even if 5 days later they finally have expressed their concerns, even though with several caveats, like Jairam Ramesh said, while noting that there have been influential voices within Bangladesh calling for the preservation of the country's multi-religious heritage, the Congress expresses its concern at reports of targeted attacks on minorities there and their properties and places of worship. Are these caveats really needed? And why is my question? I come back to what I started with. Is what Yogi Adityanath saying true, and the only reason what makes Congress and other parties in India bloc put these caveats?
No, listen, here the basic point here is that there is a deep state that is operating within the right-wing ecosystem. Like with people like Abhijit Iyer Mitra in your...
Wait, what does that have to do with anything?
I'm very sorry about to say.
What does that have to do with Rahul Gandhi on the 8th of August forgetting completely about minorities, and suddenly Jairam Ramesh waking up to their plight, and then Rashid Alvi saying कि ठीक है आप उनका तो देख रहे हो, अपना देखो पहले.
This deep state bigots the system. They will try and link everything that is happening under the sun somehow or the other with the Congress party.
Sir, I am not a part of deep state. I would like to think I'm not a bigot. I sincerely believe so, but I can't convince you in any way whether I am or not. My question is, there is a statement from Rahul Gandhi on the 8th which doesn't mention minorities. Suddenly, 2 days later, Jairam Ramesh comes out with a lot of pain and hurt referring to minorities. He still doesn't mention word Hindu. What brought about this change? What happened between the 8th and 10th?
The entire narrative that these deep state bigots are trying to spread out there is based on an interview of a Bangladeshi journalist out here. This is also
unverified. Sir, I don't have independent confirmation of what he said, which is why, if you have noticed, I didn't even go into the whole details of how Rahul Gandhi was supposed to be in London. He was supposed to meet Khalida Zia's son and plan out some sort of a conspiracy.
You have taken this. You have taken this from the narrative built up by the deep-stated bigots like Abhijit Iyer Mitra. The basic point out here is that the same bigots, they will not speak about what's happening in Manipur. They will sympathize with the Israelis committing a genocide in Palestine. But they will not speak a single word when Bengali Muslims are being harassed, being kicked out in Delhi, or Bengali Muslims are being kicked out in Odisha.
So
they will never utter a word against it.
Sir, what has Mamata Banerjee said about Bangladeshi Hindus? Sir, what has Mamata Banerjee said about Bangladeshi Hindus?
The door is open.
What has Mamata Banerjee said about Bangladeshi Hindus? What has Akhilesh Yadav said about Bangladeshi Hindus? What has Sharad Pawar said about Bangladeshi Hindus? You talk about, you started the whataboutery. I did not. I wasn't bringing comparisons. There is no need for this to be this or that. You can have pain for people in Gaza. I did not say that All Eyes on Gaza gang does not see the plight of people in Dhaka.
Madam, just permit me 20 seconds. I will not speak after that. Basically, the basic main objection to the entire Bangladesh controversy that is here is about the Citizenship Amendment Act. You have brought in an act, sent out an invitation to the 1.5 crore Bangladeshi Hindus in Bangladesh.
You're doing everything but answering my question, which will now force me to go to...
can ask to cross over the border. Now, where will you keep this 1.5 crore Bangladeshi Hindus if they try to come into our border, into our country? Where are you going to kick them? You can sympathize with them. You cannot gaslight them. You have gaslighted the Bangladeshi fundamentalist in Bangladesh also.
Mr. Chaudhary, I really am failing to understand you, because wasn't it Mamata Banerjee, an ally of the Congress party a couple of days ago, who had said that we will give shelter to everybody who comes across to this side? And after which even Bangladesh had to come out and object on record, saying that I think it is an interference of sorts. But bringing you in on that point, Professor Manojit Mandal, why are we seeing this silence from Mamata Banerjee?
When did Mamata speak? Mamata spoke, even the Bangladesh government was there. He just quoted that line, and you created haha out of that. Why Mamata is saying what she had said? He just gave a humanitarian call that people who are suffering, who are being persecuted, their doors are open. And then at that point in time, you created uproar throughout the national media. And 3 days back...
Wait. Before you take it to another...
Wait. This is not the way to debate. No, hang on.
Did Mamata Banerjee say that Bangladeshi Hindus are being persecuted and my heart goes out to them?
This is the way you conduct debate, I quit.
Sir.
First, promise yourself you'll allow me to speak at least a minute or I'll quit live right now. This is not the way to debate.
Sir, I don't have to promise anything. You will get enough time. My question is, I'm just clarifying my question.
No, hang on. First
I thought I haven't managed to communicate it well enough. Has Mamata Banerjee said that my heart goes out to Bangladeshi Hindus or not?
Hang on. If you keep interrupting me every 10 seconds, then I will quit. This is not the way to invite people and not allow them to speak. When you are giving uninterrupted time to Abhijit Mitra and Tuhin Sinha, are they your friends and we are your enemies?
Sir, I have a question. I want an answer to that question. If you would, it will be really nice if you help me ask a proper question and then answer the question. And not question my friendships or enmities over here. Please.
If you have a question, you have the guts to listen to the answer, right?
Please go on, sir. Please answer my question.
Uninterrupted time, at least...
Sir, please answer my question. You are getting uninterrupted time.
The answer is very simple. It is a humanitarian crisis in Bangladesh. The world understands that. Mamata anticipated that 3 weeks back on 21st July. When the streets of Kolkata, she gave that call, you made politics out of it. Then the Bangladeshi government was still there. Then you even created politics out of the statement of the Bangladeshi foreign minister. What is the foreign minister now? The government is in tatters. The government is completely destroyed. And the government of India, not just phone call or called up Mr. Yunus or write a letter. They must do something palpable, tangible. You talk about CAA. CAA is limited by 2014. There is no question of allowing anybody beyond 35 December 2014 who are crossing the border. The fact remains that on this count, every Indian voices, be it the ruling party or the opposition, must come on the same page. They are our friends. They must be supported. There must be complete support to these people, irrespective of their religion. Anyone who is persecuted, yes, largely the minorities are getting hate. Everyone can understand.
At least you've admitted that.
Consensus on this. Consensus on this. All the political parties need to come together. Mind you,
consensus to what, sir? Define consensus to what? Are you now in consensus with the fact that there are indeed Hindus, 8% of the population in the country, that are also under persecution? So much persecution that and look at, if you see the visuals of when people have come out on the streets of Dhaka and different cities in Bangladesh at a time where they are being targeted, when they are being hounded, hunted out. Imagine the fear that they would have in their hearts, that now they have decided that irrespective of what happens, we have to fight our own battles, because there are people out there who are just going to listen to our stories but say they don't matter. It is gaslighting. It is some sort of a communal behavior by another friendly neighbor government if they ask for their rights to be protected. But on that note, Abhijit Iyer Mitra, help me understand this. Do you think that even the centre has been cautious in its approach and hasn't been as assertive as it should have been when it comes to sending a message across to Muhammad Yunus's government?
So we're basically faced with 1 crore hostages in Bangladesh. How do you deal with a hostage situation? You certainly don't go in all guns blazing. Remember, our entire foreign policy has been based on opposing humanitarian intervention, be it in Kosovo, be it in Libya, be it in Syria. We can't then turn around and do the exact same thing that we condemned all this while, right? This is number one. Number two, assume we take a much more aggressive stance. As it is, the Hindus are being labeled as Indian agents. And anybody linked, basically, if you're a Hindu, you're essentially a Awami League linked person. So in that case, even if we ratchet up the language we use or the pressure we use, what do you think happens to those Hindus out there? They're being killed even when we do nothing publicly. In private, there's a lot of pressure happening. If you notice, Modi's tweet welcoming Yunus did not grant him any kind of recognition It did not grant him any kind of validity of his post. It was merely saying, congratulations on your new responsibilities. That's about it. There is a lot of pressure being put on the Bangladesh government. Otherwise, they wouldn't have today. Mohammed Yunus himself has come out and said something about this. He wouldn't have done that had there not been that kind of pressure. So it is being done. But remember, in a hostage negotiation, and let's be very clear, this is exactly what it is. Those Hindus in Bangladesh are being held hostage, and you have to tread lightly.
Okay. When it comes to treading lightly and being cautious about things, तारिक अहमद लारी आज जो योगी आदित्यनाथ ने बोला, और मैं वापस उसी पर जाऊंगी, बिकॉज अभी तक जितने भी नेताओं ने इसके बारे में बात की है, कुछ दबे हुए शब्दों में कहते हैं, कुछ सोच समझ के कहते हैं कि कुछ वोट बैंक है, ये है, बट आज योगी आदित्यनाथ ने जो कल कहा, उन्होंने ही पुल्ड नो पंचेस. उन्होंने बोला है हम आवाज उठाएंगे, कुछ लोगों को लगता है तो उनको वो इसलिए नहीं बोलते हैं क्योंकि उनका वोट बैंक ना खिसक जाए. जो बांग्लादेश में हो रहा है वो 90% जो हिंदू बचा है दलित समुदाय से है. और मैं ये कहना चाहता हूं कि सबके मुंह इसलिए सिले हुए हैं क्योंकि उन्हें पता है कि बांग्लादेश का हिंदू इनका वोटर नहीं होगा. अब आप क्योंकि समाजवादी पार्टी के सपोर्टर हैं, मैंने कोशिश की ढूंढने की कि अखिलेश यादव का कोई स्टेटमेंट मुझे मिल जाए कि अखिलेश यादव ने कुछ बोला है बांग्लादेशी हिंदूज के बारे में.
मैम, पहले एक बात ध्यान रखिएगा, आज दोपहर में ही आपके वहाँ डिबेट हुई थी, मैं दोपहर में बैठा था, और समाजवादी पार्टी का हर एक कार्यकर्ता अखिलेश यादव है. तो मैंने ऑलरेडी बयान दिया हुआ है कि जो वहाँ के माइनॉरिटी हिंदूज के साथ हो रहा है वो गलत हो रहा है, वो उसकी मैं निंदा करता हूँ. तो ये मैंने एज अ तारिक अहमद लारी नहीं, एज अ अखिलेश यादव बात कही थी. जो हमारे राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष जी हैं उनकी तरफ से मैंने बात कही थी. यहाँ पर जो भी बात मैं करूंगा मैं अखिलेश यादव जी की तरफ से करूंगा. मेरी कोई निजी राय नहीं है.
चलिए, कम से कम एक पार्टी तो है जो ये नहीं बोलती कि लोगों की पर्सनल ओपिनियन है.
राय होती है. नहीं मैम, अभी पूरी बात सुन लीजिए. दूसरी बात, जो योगी जी जो कह रहे हैं, यहाँ तो सरकार बीजेपी की है, हिंदू हृदय सम्राट महाराज धीराज मोदी जी की है, राजाओं के राजा मोदी जी की है, विश्व गुरु मोदी जी की है, अखंड भारत इनका सपना है. इस समय बांग्लादेश में स्थिति डावाडोल है और तमाम अराजकता फैली हुई है. तो जैसे सन 71 में माननीय अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी जी ने ही दुर्गा की उपाधि दी थी माननीय इंदिरा गांधी जी को जब उन्होंने पाकिस्तान से अलग कराया था बांग्लादेश को, वैसे इनको भी उपाधि किसी देवता की दे दी जाएगी. जरा ये भी बांग्लादेश को अखंड भारत का हिस्सा मानते वो उसको इसमें सम्मिलित कर रहे, सारा मामला खत्म हो जाएगा. आर्मी भेजे, कम से कम भाई रिजर्व आर्मी और सब मिला के 10 लाख की आर्मी तो अपने पास
है. मतलब कमरू समान जी ने तो हिलेरियस ही बोला था, आपने तो एकदम मजाक का लेवल ही बढ़ा दिया है.
विश्व गुरु है. नहीं मैम, मजाक का लेवल नहीं, इट इज अ वेरी सीरियस मैटर. मैम, आप मजाक कर रही होंगी, आपको वहां के लोगों का दर्द नहीं होगा. तारिक अहमद लारी बहुत दर्द में है, बहुत दर्द है मुझे, तभी तो मैं कह रहा हूँ बांग्लादेश.
वही तो मेरा सवाल है कि जब तारिक अहमद लारी इतने दर्द में है तो अखिलेश यादव को क्यों नहीं चुभ रहा है? वो तो पीडीए के स्वयं घोषित फ्लैग बेयरर है ना.
तारिक अहमद लारी इज अखिलेश यादव. Tariq Ahmed Lari is Akhilesh Yadav, and as Akhilesh Yadav, I am speaking over here. Individually, I don't have any authority to speak. I am speaking on behalf of Akhilesh Yadav, ma'am.
Okay.
What are you saying? I am speaking on behalf of Samajwadi Party.
Okay.
What are you saying? मैं तो कह रहा हूँ पूरी समाजवादी पार्टी को, अखिलेश जी को, पूरे मैम सुन लीजिए, सबको बहुत दर्द है.
I have to tell you that
माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी की बातों को ही दोहरा रहा हूँ. बीच में कोई ना बोले, मैंने किसी के बीच में नहीं बोला था. प्लीज डोंट इंटरप्ट बिकॉज आई डिडंट इंटरप्ट इन एनीवन्स थिंग. मैं माननीय मोदी जी की बात को याद दिला रहा हूं कि वो अखंड भारत का सपना जो उन्होंने दिखाया है उसकी शुरुआत करने का, उसको स्टार्ट करने का ये बहुत अच्छा मौका है. वहां पे अस्थिर सरकार है, जो सरकार हिंदुस्तान के खिलाफ है, तो उस सरकार को, उस देश को ही अपने पास मिला लीजिए.
अखिलेश यादव जी के पास एक ट्वीट करने की भी फुर्सत नहीं है. 6 दिन हो गए हैं, बहुत एक्टिव रहते हैं वो सोशल मीडिया पे. लेकिन तुहिन से ना, बिकॉज तारिक अहमद लारी जी अखिलेश यादव का अवतार हैं आज, तो बीजेपी की सरकार क्या कर रही है उनको आदमी लेके चले जाना चाहिए और सारे सबको रेस्क्यू कर लेना चाहिए.
अरे भाई आप लोग,
अखिलेश यादव ट्वीट नहीं करेंगे. लेकिन
प्रिया, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल आई हैव टू टेल यू, I have to tell you this is a strange Sunday debate because first the Congress representative calls the whole issue hilarious and then the Samajwadi Party's representative actually acts hilarious. The first spokesperson who I've heard saying that I am Akhilesh Yadav, and then asking for, the integration of Bangladesh with India. So I think, it's an amazing show that you're doing right now. Having said that, the Indian stand is very clear. Like my friend Abhijit clearly pointed out, the Prime Minister Modi's first tweet made it very clear that, the safety of Hindus is of paramount importance for India. And I think that is what has led to a slight change in situation for better in the last 2 days. Please understand, it's an evolving situation. It's very easy to say that you get 1.3 crore Hindus back home. But the point is, they themselves may not be prepared. And I think, it's an evolving situation. One needs to take a very nuanced approach, which is what this government has taken by, along with constantly monitoring the situation. I can tell you, Indians anywhere in the last 10 years in any war zone would know that how this government has reached out to them and how they have safeguarded the interests of Indians. And the same would happen in Bangladesh with Indians and with Hindus over there.
All right, Kamruzaman Chaudhary, you want to come in?
Yeah, basically my question to Tuhin Sinha as an official spokesperson of the world's largest political party. Are you ready to accept 1.5 crore Bangladeshi Hindus into India? Yes or no? First question. Second question will be,
मैंने अभी जवाब दिया.
Then why did you enact the Citizenship Amendment Act and gaslighted the fundamentalists in Bangladesh so that the Hindus are persecuted in Bangladesh? Because the Hindus in Bangladesh are persecuted only on the same language that you have got your country in India.
I will
get back to India. You don't have anything to do in India. Why did you bring the Citizenship Amendment Act? That is the only law which has gaslighted fundamentalists in Bangladesh. And you are responsible for the situation of Hindus in Bangladesh right now. You are responsible to answerable for all those people who are suffering in Bangladesh.
You have asked me specific questions. Let me answer you right away. Let me answer you right away since you have asked specific questions. Probably, he didn't hear me the first time around. The Indian government cannot take a call on behalf of 1.4 crore Hindus of Bangladesh. It's an evolving situation. We are keeping a close watch. And I think that's what any responsible government, external government can do in this situation. When it comes to CAA, the primary offender has been the Congress party. The moment the Nehru-Liaquat Pact was violated many decades ago, the right time for CAA was the late 60s. You delayed it by 5 decades, we brought it now. But
I think even the CAA... We're just slightly going backwards on this because everybody knows that there are deadlines.
The CAA...
that apply to CAA, but that shouldn't stop anybody from showing concern for your fellow brethren in another country just because they belong to a particular community. But Abhijit Iyer Mitra, there are some quarters where I heard this conversation taking place that probably if somebody indulges in exaggerating what is happening in Bangladesh, it eventually might have a negative impact on their situation in the country because that might deepen the divide, that might lead them to even more persecution in order to, because there's already an image that is being created, a narrative that is being created. Do you think if somebody, in this case, parties in India or senior politicians in India are highlighting that there are Hindus who are being targeted by focusing and spotlighting on Hindus, are they making it difficult for those people back in Bangladesh, or is that just one of those theories?
It possibly is making it tougher because you see what ends up happening is, unfortunately, when you're stuck in a hostage situation, you have to be very pliant to the hostage taker. You have to, if you look at hostage negotiators, during hijacking situations and things like that, they always come out and say, the hijackers are treating them humanely, etc., etc. You kind of have to do that. Otherwise, you run the risk of inflaming the hostage taker. And we need to remember who the hostage taker here is. Muhammad Yunus is just the useful idiot. He's the face. He thinks he's in charge. Everybody knows he's not in charge. Everybody wants you to think that it was the students who uprooted the government. It isn't. It's the BNP and the Jamaat-e-Islami doing it. The Jamaat-e-Islami are out and out Razakars. They literally supported the Pakistani state in killing their own citizens. The BNP are the same bunch of people who were the feudal elites who Mujibur Rahman's reforms dispossessed. And they have since gone over to this sort of more Islamist and less ethnic Bengali side. Now, will Muhammad Yunus do this? No. But will it sort of provoke the BNP and the Jamaat-e-Islami? Quite possibly, yes. Just like Kamru's rhetoric right now, are you ready to receive 1.5 crores? He's basically laying the ground for their full-on genocide. So it's really no different.
Talking of extreme statements, Tuhin Sinha, here is one tweet that was put out by Pawan Kheda, and this was in response to Ram Madhav. He tweeted an article where he's speaking about how it is a time for healing. The caption also says a time for healing. Pawan Kheda in his response says, you fight for Hindu Rashtra in India but want a secular Bangladesh. He ends by saying, hey Ram. Is this a hypocrisy that is being pointed out that you agree with?
You know, well, Priya, these people, the Congress party especially has the present Congress party has a very limited comprehension about, important strategic issues, besides having a very notorious intent. There is no way you can equate the situation that exists in Bangladesh with that which exists in India. So even Rashid Alvi, who says that India, what are we doing about the Muslims here in danger? I think, every time a Congress person does that, his notoriety needs to be called out. When we talk of Ram Rajya is about justice, Ram Rajya is about inclusivity. If you equate it, if the Congress party equates it with what is happening in Bangladesh, which clearly is a jihadi takeover, then I think, like I said, the mischief and the notoriety of this Congress party needs to be called out there and there.
Last 1 minute left. Kamru Zaman Chaudhary, what do you make of this? और ये equivalence है क्या कि आप हिंदू राष्ट्र के लिए फाइट करते हैं लेकिन आपको सेक्युलर बांग्लादेश चाहिए? तो कहना क्या चाह रहे पवन खेड़ा जी कि उनको ना तो सेक्युलर बांग्लादेश चाहिए ना ही उनको सेक्युलर इंडिया चाहिए? क्या सही है और क्या गलत है?
नहीं, मैंने दो इवेंट्स बताया, कल रात का और आज दिन का। उड़ीसा में बंगाली मुसलमान पे अटैक हो रहा है। दिल्ली में कल रात कोई हिंदुत्व ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का लोग जाकर वहां पे
ये फेक न्यूज है,
मुसलमान पे अटैक किया, उनको बांग्लादेशी बोलकर। बांग्लादेश wait. Bangladeshis are considered as low life. In fact, the Bengali Muslims in India are considered as low life to some of these people from the right-wing ecosystem.
मतलब आप हमारे ऊपर हमला हो तो फेक न्यूज है।
फेक न्यूज नहीं है, फेक न्यूज नहीं है, सही बात है।
ऊपर हमला हो रहा है तो फेक न्यूज है।
हाँ।
No,
see. The point here is that
I am sitting here, cannot independently
Times now verify
those claims
Bengalis are being attacked in India.
मुसलमानों के ऊपर बर्मान में हमला हो रहा है, उस पे आपका कोई स्टैंड नहीं है।
Even if one illegal Bangladeshi has been attacked, I condemn it. But to spread this fake news about Bengalis being attacked, I think this is where the mischief and notoriety of this Congress party needs to be called out.
And by the way, even those Hindus, in fact, in one of the protests, I actually saw who are we? We are Bengalis. These people in Bangladesh also, as they plead with the entire world to save their lives, say we are also Bengalis. It doesn't matter whether we go to a temple or we go to a mosque or a church. We are Bengalis. We are Bangladeshis. So, for once, if we could, it will be really nice if like one of our guests said, we could be on the same page. There could be consensus. But on what matter do we need to be on the same page about? The matters of humanity and not polity would be the ideal situation to be in. Whether that happens or not, it remains to be seen. Thank you, everybody, gentlemen, for joining.